All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning Pass Rush Show. Once again, we are back with the man, the myth, the legend, Colts, aka Isaiah.
Yo, gang.
And then we got a newcomer to the show today. He is known as Sergeant J, aka Mr. Breaking the Rules, Breaking the Rules. Steelers in the house.
What's up, man?
What up, man? So how does it feel to be on the show finally?
It feels great, man. Get to come out here and talk about my division rivals. I'm gonna have some good and bad things to say.
I kind of figured that's why you wanted to be on the show. It's like I circled the AFC North for a reason. I'll make my debut then. All right, so let's get right into this. Give me one second. All
Oh
right, so
my
let me
god.
take this off right here. Boom. All right, so the best, second best team in actually no, they're the first best team right now. They are sitting at 11 out and 0. Rookie head coach Temple with the Bengals. I will have the Colts started off with his take on that team, the GM. Let's hear this breakdown.
All right. So before the season, obviously we just came off, kind of a letdown season. Before the season, we won the Super Bowl. We had a slow start to last season. We still got enough wins to reach the playoffs. Upset the number one seed in the Raiders in the first round. Oh no, not the one seed, the two seed. But then we lost to the Titans in the divisional round. Um, so before the season, I was probably expecting much of the same. I like our roster. New head coach. Not really sure what he was going to bring. But with this roster, I think a lot of it doesn't really take much. No disrespect to the head coach, but I'm just saying we have a really talented roster. Um, so I expected us to win the division. Hopefully be in the 1, 2, 3 seeds. Um, I do think we had the Titans numbers the last two times we met in the playoffs. We were 1-1 against each other. Um, First time we beat them when we won the Super Bowl. Second time they beat us, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. So I would imagine us being neck and neck throughout the whole season, and maybe meeting in the AFC Championship game, and possibly winning the Super Bowl again this year. And so far, we have accomplished all that I could imagine. 11-0, undefeated. Some people say that we're not as good as our record shows, but at the end of the day, we still are undefeated. We still have a chance to get that first round bye. And as we've seen, the team with a first round bye, one of those teams have went to win the Super Bowl every single season. So that first round bye is something that we're aiming for, and we're on the right track. Looking at our roster quarterback, Joe Shiesty, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, 99 overall. Let's look at these stats. Over 3,000 yards, 3,007 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. As we've seen, our head coach has a new offense that we haven't seen. He likes to be in single back. As we'll talk about later, Mixon, which is a huge reason why Mixon is going off. Our play action is pretty deadly. We have some of the best wide receivers, and we have one of the best quarterbacks to build on the ball in Joe Burrow. 28 years old, still in his prime. So we're really happy with him. Speaking of Joe Mixon, he's leading the league in yards. Let me see. 1,060 yards and 14 touchdowns. Incredible season. I was not expecting that from him, honestly, because the last couple of seasons we haven't really run the ball that much. We're really pass heavy. If we did run the ball, it was usually out of a I form or RPO where the run is some kind of obvious, but not really obvious. Like I said, that single back really makes it harder for the defense to tell what's going to happen with that play action. Joe Mixon is 29 years old. So he is starting to age, only 90 speed, superstar. Maybe we look for a backup in the offseason. Possibly trade Mixon. I don't want to trade Mixon, honestly. But down the road, we definitely will need another running back. Tight end wise, Irv Smith Jr. Let's see what he's been doing so far for us. 17 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Let me see if the rookie's getting involved. Noah Clancy, our 4th-round pick. Hasn't really been getting involved yet. I expect Noah probably to get more involved. And Irv Smith. Like I said, that single back, if you watch his games, a lot of the play action goes to Jamar Chase. Has some heck of receivers. If we could get our tight ends more involved, I think that would make our offense even more deadly. We have seen some really good young tight ends, some steals. Maybe we could get our own tight end in the draft, late in the draft. But I think that no matter what, I like our offense. We don't really need a tight end. I think we're fine there. Our receivers, honestly, probably the best wide receiver core in the league. Jamar Chase, 99 overall, 25 years old. St. Brown, 92 overall, 25 years old. T. Higgins, 91 overall, 26 years old. If you look at their catching ratings, 98, 98, 97. Tyler Boyd has a 96 catching. So we have some really good receivers, which is one reason why Joe Burrow is leading in passing yards, because these guys definitely get open. This is a young team. Young receiving core. So, if we can clear up some money to continue to pay them, then we can definitely keep them. Obviously, money will be an issue down the line, but right now we're really happy with this receiving core. Offensive line, actually really good. 85 Orlando Brown. I think did he come from? Oh no, he didn't. All right, Orlando Brown. Alex Kappa, 82 overall. La'el Collins, 80 overall. And then we see some high and low 70s, and some high 60s right here. With this offense, I think you definitely want to try to see if you can get another offensive lineman in the offseason. With this single back, I think single back is really good, but I feel like some teams can just blitz out of single back. I think that's probably a weakness out of single back, but if you can get some good offensive linemen to counter that, maybe even get a superstar to show you when the blitzes are coming. Like I continue to say, this offense will get even more explosive than it already is. And I say explosive, but if you watch them, it doesn't look explosive. It looks like basic offense, but it works. It's simple offense. A lot of teams want to try to do all this and all that, but as the Bengals are showing, it's not really, doesn't take much. It's just simple football. Defensive line, Trey Hendrickson. He is a free agent coming this offseason. He's only a star. I think he lost his superstar. But he's definitely still an impactful player. DJ Reader. Both of those guys are pretty old. Maybe look for someone in the draft. Maybe trade a piece to get another defensive line. Because I do think it is important for defense to have good D-line to generate pressure. They do have some young pieces in Miles Murphy and Braylon Trice. So maybe we could develop them to become true threats. But I really would want another defensive piece on the D-line to generate pressure. I think our defense is our weakness. Let me look. We're ranked 25th in allowed yards, 28th in allowed passing yards. So one of the things to fix that is generating pressure on that D line. Linebacker wise, Logan Wilson, 29 years old, 84 overall. But what I'm looking at is Akeem Davis Gaither, I guess, 81 overall, 88 speed, and Jermaine Pratt, 87 speed. Like I continue to say, I think speed is a huge deal with the linebacker position. I'm not sure which one he uses. I would probably use Pratt and let Gaither roam because Gaither's a superstar. He can probably come up with some picks. Our secondary is actually pretty good, honestly. Awuzie, I think that's Awuzie. I think it's Awuzie. I'm not sure. 88 overall, 30 years old, superstar. Daxton Hill, 85 overall, superstar, 94 speed. DJ Turner, 84 overall, 99. What the world? 99 speed. It's crazy. Cam Taylor Britt, 83 overall, 94 speed. You see those superstars? If you look at that Titans defense, that's another reason why their defense is so good is those superstars. Depending on what abilities you get, can have some knockout abilities, and that's honestly very frustrating. You think somebody's open, pass it to them, and the ball gets knocked out. And if you look at their ages, they're actually pretty young. So maybe try to develop some of these guys. But honestly, I'm actually pretty excited with my secondary, especially considering the little bit of money that we have left. To still have this talent, be 88 overall is honestly incredible. What the world? All right, so some of our top people that are getting paid is Joe Burrow, obviously, and Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, Trey Hendrickson, like I said, is on the block. Is going to free agency next year. I doubt we'll pay him. St. Brown, Jadobi. So, a lot of our money is going elsewhere, but it is going to talented pieces. It's not really going to people that don't deserve the money that they're getting. I think we still are in win now mode. So as a GM, I'm proud of my team. Not too much to change, other than that defense. See if we can work that defensive line and generate pressure. I think that would really help our defense, and our offense is already explosive. Great defense with an explosive offense is a recipe to beat the Titans. I think this is a team that could beat the Titans just because they stick to their game plan. You don't see them fold, even when they're down. So I do think that we are contenders to beat the Tennessee Titans and possibly win the Super Bowl.
Can I add on?
Yep. Now it's on you, Steelers.
All right. Basically, what I'm looking at right here is next season the Bengals is gonna have some decisions to make. They got huge free agents. They got Cheeto gonna be a free agent. Jordan Battle's gonna be a free agent. DJ Turner's gonna be a free agent. Joe Mixon's gonna be a free agent. Miles Murphy's gonna be a free agent. Akeem Davis gonna be a free agent. They have some huge decisions to make. Trey Hendrickson gonna be a free agent this year. And if I was them, this is what I would do. He's not using T. Higgins. T. Higgins only has 200 yards. So what I would do is I would just move on from T. Higgins at that point because he's eventually going to lose value. He's getting older, technically, kind of. He's getting older. You're not using him. He's just on the field getting cardio. So I would get max value out of him. Somebody's going to be willing to maybe pay a first for T. Higgins since he's superstar 6'4", and get some great value out of him. I like what they're doing in the run game, though, with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon isn't really that running back no more. He doesn't have that burst anymore, but he's still making use of him. He's an 83 overall. He uses him mostly on the goal line and just racks up touchdowns. That's why he has 14 touchdowns on the season. He also uses him out the backfield with 285 yards. but I see he's mainly throwing to Jamar Chase. So that could be something for teams to take into consideration that Jamar Chase is number one receiver. You shut him out. What is he going to do? Watch the run game, watch Jamar Chase. Could possibly be the game plan. Let's look at their schedule for the rest of the season. Give me 1 second. What are their schedule? Like they've been dominating teams. They almost lost to the Cardinals. Almost lost to the Lions. Almost lost to the Jets. Almost lost to the Dolphins. They have a few close games, but mostly they've been dominating throughout the season. Next, they have the Chiefs coming up. Then they have a bye week. Then they have me. Then the Vikings. That's a tough stretch. Then the Ravens, then the Bills, then the Colts. Ooh, that is a very tough stretch, actually. I'm gonna call it now. I see their record getting broke. They're gonna be 11-1 by week 12. I see it coming. When is it week 12? Oh no, week 15. They're gonna be 11-1 for sure. All right, you can take over, Bears.
Wow. All I gotta say, Kansas City gonna put up a good fight against him in week 12. Let's see if he's able to knock him out. Like Isaiah said, that defense is kind of suspect. Obviously, they're not giving as many points as they should be with the stats that they have on defense. So they're a bend but don't break type of defense. But Kansas City, we've seen them light up the scoreboard. We see Steelers light up the scoreboard. Vikings light up the scoreboard. Buffalo lights up the scoreboard. Colts doesn't allow the scoreboard to get lit up on them. So I agree with you. I don't see them going undefeated. The stretch that they have is going to be a tough one. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about this team. I mean, Bears, Cowboys, Broncos. What was the other team? The Rams. Get ready, baby. We've got some shopping to do from this Bengals team. You guys heard Sergeant J say there's a whole bunch of players coming into free agency. So this is exactly what we've been waiting for. The reason why we got the money that we got. All those teams got 100+ mil ready to spend. So get ready for that. Going on to our next team, Mr. Sergeant J and the Steelers are 6-5. Had a rough start this year. Usually he's sitting up at the top or second to the top with about a loss or two. And this season, 5 on that number, on that section. Colts, what are your thoughts, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first. All right. So before this season, we just came off an incredible season for us. The season prior, midway through the season, we got a new head coach. The old head coach is just not doing it for us. We got a new head coach, and immediately the culture changed. Literally from the start, we knew that we were about to be a playoff contender, if not championship contender, in a matter of a season or two. We won our division games. We beat the Bengals, who was literally on top of the league at that point. So last season we came in, George Pickens had an MVP season. Should have won MVP, got snubbed. We had the best offense in the league. Najee Harris was arguably the best running back in the league. Even still, we had some doubters. A lot of people saw us losing to the Chiefs. We embarrassed the Chiefs. We should have beat the Colts. Some plays just didn't go our way. Got unlucky on a few plays. But we proved that we were definitely championship contenders. So this season, I expect us to be top. Obviously win our division. I probably would have still seen the Titans be number 1 seed. So probably us be around the 2 seed, 3 seed with the Chiefs. Kenny Pickett, I would have expected him to take another level, really establish himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Proved that last year wasn't a fluke. Expected Najee Harris to prove that he's the best running back in the league, as he was leading the foot race last year. George Pickens to prove that he's still the best running back in the league, maybe have a revenge tour and actually win that MVP this year. But honestly, our focus would have been our defense. Our offense was the best in the league. Towards the end of last season, we showcased a new style of a defense. Having a whole offseason to work on that with all of our players, get them used to the new defense. I would expect us to probably be at least a top 10 defense. Clearly, I would want us to. I would see us at least having 10 wins right now, 10-1, possibly. I mean, we did have a pretty tough schedule. Our losses are against playoff teams: Titans, Bengals, 49ers, Jets. But honestly, I'm only okay with us losing to the Titans. The rest of the teams, I would expect us to beat them. So right now, kind of disappointed in what we've done so far. But even with a slow start, we're 6-5, and as a 7th seed, if the playoffs were to start today, I'm not gonna lie, the Bengals definitely don't want to see us right now. So I'm proud of us because although we had a slow start, we haven't let our heads stay down. We're looking forward. We just came off a big victory over the Browns, which was kind of a must-win for us for our confidence. So I mean, not what I expected, but not terrible. But let's look at this roster. Kenny Pickett, what a story. Literally was leading the league in passing yards last year, leading one of the best offenses. Some people were saying it's because of George Pickens. Some people were saying it was a fluke. And honestly, this year he kind of proved that it was a fluke. Getting benched by Artie Tyson, a 23-year-old rookie who was drafted, I guess, round 6. That says 63, but I'm not sure when he was drafted. But that's really, really embarrassing. Not what you expect from him. His contract is almost up, so I mean, actually, I'm proud of the Steelers because to develop a guy, make him X Factor this quickly, it makes letting go Kenny Pickett so much easier. You don't really have to trade up to draft a quarterback like teams like the Colts might have to do, because you really just developed a quarterback on your own. So shout out to the coaching staff and the training staff to really develop Artie Tyson this quickly. 23 years old, bright future. Kenny Pickett is most likely out the door. Could possibly trade him. I'm not sure if a lot of teams will trade for him because of the draft class, the quarterback draft class that we have, and Kenny Pickett being 27 years old. But I'm definitely sure you could get something with him being X Factor. Running back wise, Najee Harris, arguably the best running back in the league. The stats don't really show that he's the best running back in the league right now. It's looking like Pacheco and Joe Mixon. But if you watch the games, Najee Harris is a dog. You always have to pay attention to him. If you saw the Browns game, I think the last play of the game, Najee Harris did a little motion route. The Browns had a bite because it's Najee Harris, but instead they ran the ball. So even when he's not getting the ball, the defense has to pay attention to him. So 27 years old, 93 overall, X Factor. We love what we got with him. Probably, I think it's Loveland, but top 3 tight end in the league, top 2, Pat. Not saying his last name. 94 overall, X Factor. In that offense, I think this. Obviously, they have a scary offense, but having a tight end like this really makes your offense even crazier because George Pickens can head tap, and honestly, Pat can actually head tap on his own if you watch some of his games, if you watch the Steelers play. Um, so I'm really happy with their tight end. I think the tight end is pretty underrated. In a team success, look at the Jets. I truly think that Loveland is carrying them. Hot take. I think Loveland is carrying them. Um, because when you have a receiving core, when you have a receiver like George Pickens, or Jets wise, when you have receivers like Zach Wilson, bruh, this dude said Zach Wilson, bruh. All right, you know who I'm talking about. And Miko Hardman. Sometimes you forget about the tight end. When you have a great tight end like Pat or Loveland, it makes the offense, it makes the defense, it makes it hard for the defense to adjust because now you have to watch this, watch that, but you still got to watch the tight end. So, speaking of receiving core, right now it's really George Pickens. The Steelers' offense makes it look like he can spread the ball out, but these receivers really aren't what you expect, what you want actually. Deontay Johnson, although he's superstar, I don't really see him being a factor for this team going down the line. This receiving core is really George Pickens. We tried to go out before the trade deadline and get AJ Brown. That didn't work out. Still in talks. Last minute we tried to get Michael Pittman. The coach was stingy. So this offseason we're definitely looking for another elite receiver to pair next to George Pickens. If we get that, I truly don't see another team stopping us. Off of his MVP type season, a lot of teams focused on George Pickens now, so his touches, his impact on the game kind of slowed down because obviously he's a focus now. So if we could get another elite receiver, I don't even see teams like the Colts stopping us. Titans probably have a chance because of their superstars, but that would be the only defense that I see stopping us if we can get another receiver. Offensive line, we traded Ronnie Stanley. I think that was a really smart move. He was old. We got something for him. So I think the offensive line is definitely key for us. We want to keep making sure that our offensive line is polished. Try to introduce some young guys in the offseason maybe. But our offense is great because of our offensive line. Makes it easier for Najee Harris. Makes it easier for now our rookie quarterback, Ari Tyson, to stand back in that pocket and find an open receiver. So I like our offensive line. Defensive line, TJ Watt hasn't really been the guy we expect him to be, but I do believe he came off some injuries. He did miss some games. But I expect him to be back and better for the latter end of this season. But honestly, if I'm the Steelers, well, which I am the Steelers, I'm trading him in the offseason, seeing what I can get for him. I probably would have traded him last season. I would have got more. But I definitely will see what I can get from him this offseason. Tyree Wilson, D tackle, 25 years old, superstar. If you're gonna, I think this. Well, I'm gonna just start here. Shamar Stewart, 21-year-old X Factor. Because I have Tyree Wilson and Stewart, I'm definitely trading TJ Watt in offseason and seeing what I can do with him. I already have some young pieces that can generate pressure too. Not to mention some speedy edge rushers that can. Obviously, you can't replace TJ Watt, but 2 years from now, he's not the same TJ Watt. So let's see what we can get with him. We have some good replacements. Yeah, I would move TJ Watt. Linebackers, Barrett Carter, we just seen him get an X Factor. We've been big on him since we drafted him. He's really improved on the field, off the field, making sure that he gets some extra reps, film study. which is the reason why he's an X factor. 91 speed. I'm not sure if he has lurker, but if he gets lurker, that's gonna be even deadlier, especially with that Steelers defense. We like to blitz a lot. So lurker is definitely big with when the quarterback is trying to force a pass. We got Barrett Carter for them. Other than that, don't really see too much in the linebacker position, but do see some speed. 89 speed for Noah Dawkins. I think I had him. I think the Colts had him last year. But yeah, Barrett Carter is definitely huge for us in our future plans with this team. Secondary, Minica Fitzpatrick. I'm definitely trading him in offseason. Seeing what I can get. I know I can get a lot for him. I think this is the right time to move on from him. We appreciate what he's done for us. He was a safety. We needed help. We asked him to move to cornerback. He wanted to do whatever was best for us to help us win. And he has helped us win. But, I mean, it's a business. We're trying to not only win now, but build for the future. I think we can get some key pieces for him in the offseason. Kalen Bullock, we've seen him make some mistakes that, a young cornerback would make. But we definitely do see promise with him. 94 speed. See if we can get him up to superstar. Probably not this year. Probably not to end this year, but maybe start next year. But yeah, I do think we still need help in the secondary. Drafting somebody in the secondary will probably be huge for us. 61 million in cap space. Let's look at these upcoming free agents. Not too many big upcoming free agents. I forgot what team Cameron Hayward got traded to, or if he got traded, but I saw him on a different team. He did take a lot of cap space, so I'm glad we got rid of him. But not too much money is being. Let me look. I'm proud of what we've done, actually. 61 million cap space. So overall, I think we just need to work on trading TJ Watt, see what we can get with him. Trading Kenny Pickett, see what we can get with him. Trading Minica and seeing what we can get from him. Work on that secondary. But I think the future for the Steelers is actually bright. They did just pay George Pickens a lot of money. So that's why I think it's important to get another elite receiver next to him. Because that offense is going to be crazy, honestly. And yeah, I'm done.
The end. All right, so my name is Sergeant J. I go by Sarge. I'm the Steelers GM. I got 61.86 mil available. And I got a lot of players that I can trade that are not going to affect my overall as much as people might think. So you touch base on all the players, so I'm not really going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the mind of a GM and start my trading prospects. Kenny Pickett gets shipped out to Atlanta. Atlanta made it clear Trey Lance is not coming back. The salary that he's asking for the performance that he's given so far this season, it is not something that he's going to get married to. So whether it be Anthony Richardson that goes to Atlanta does have a top 6 draft pick currently, so that could make it really easy for either quarterback to head out that way, because that 6th round draft pick can actually get traded up to move up, plus given another draft pick for the next season. So he could be in the top 3, top 4, possibly. So that could be an idea there. But Kenny Pickett shipped out to Atlanta. They made it clear they need a quarterback, and he's not going to stop until he gets one. Najee Harris, yes, he's a beast, but he's off my team. Reason being, I got 2 running backs right behind him, 22 and 23 years old, way faster than he is. 92 speed for Williams, 95 acceleration. The other guy is 22 years old, Lenny Evans, 94 speed, 91 acceleration. So, hey, you know what? I'm already set for the future. Najee, we make the playoffs this year. We go as far as we go. And thank you for your services, but I'm going to trade you for a first round pick. Not just one, but maybe two, and a couple second round picks and a couple third round picks. So, with that being said, I already saved a lot of cap, which allows me to now focus on free agency. Yeah, we want to build throughout the draft. We've had a lot of success the first 2 years getting amazing draft picks really late. So obviously we do our homework the right way. We find X factors, we find superstars, we find all the good players with the speed. As you guys saw, we picked up that linebacker. It was mid round and he was a beast. So Najee, I basically use you as a trade bait, 27 years old. By the time we start next season, he's gonna be 28. You know what? The decline starts there for running backs. So I might as well, if we get over the hump and get into the Super Bowl, awesome. We might keep him. If we don't make the Super Bowl and we don't make the playoffs, then you know what? Najee's time to walk away. I got two young bucks here that want the rock. They got the speed. They got the change of direction. You know what? Thank you for your services, but good luck somewhere else. Tight ends. Pat Freiermuth. Dude is a beast. 6'5", 84 speed, 97 catching. You really have the future right there. Even though he's 26, he's in his prime. No need to trade him. No need to do anything with him. The only questions I have is, why do I have two fullbacks? That really doesn't make any sense. That's just tied up salary right there. That could easily push me over to 80 point or 70 point mil. So I'm gonna have to reassess my roster and figure out why I got two fullbacks. Moving to wide receiver, with that draft capital that we just traded, hey, look at some receivers out there. Let's see if I can trade Najee Harris and get myself a top-notch receiver in return, plus draft picks to bolster and give Pickens another weapon that other people can focus on. So that way, hey, Pickens, I can move him to the slot, left side, right side, wherever the hell I want to, and he's going to be effective because the number one corner is not always going to be on him. Deontay Johnson, superstar, but he's only 5'10". Can't get into a Six Flags rides on my book. So you got to be 6'1" and over, like I said, with the height requirement to ride the ship. If you can't get in, obviously you're not gonna participate in that. Calvin Austin III, 95 speed, 96 SL. Amazing slot receiver right there. That man will be able to break through any third cornerback that any roster has. Change of direction is 92. His jumping is 90. Catching traffic is only 87, so we still got to work on that. But for the most part, we got young talent right there that we can develop. Don't sleep on Marshall either. Marshall Jr., he's 25 years old, 6'2". He can easily take Johnson's spot really quick. And get him the ball. 91 jump off rip, so not bad. O-line, we're set. Only person that we got to watch out for is Norwell. He may retire next season, so we got to have a backup in place. But we do have two 22-year-olds already in the mix. So developing those players, especially with the league upping the offensive line XP factor to 300 max, due to the fact that these linemen are not getting upgraded at a fast pace. It feels like the defense is getting upgraded quicker than the O-line. So to offset that, the league decided to up it to 300 XP to be able to combat these super lines that we have. So obviously everything has a chain reaction, right? If the D-line is too good, you got a lot of X factors on the D-line, and the O-line can't do much. Okay, how do we offset that? And that's the course that we took to try to offset these super O-line or super D-line teams that we have. So then that way our quarterback can at least get 3 seconds to sit in the pocket instead of 0.01, 0.02. Snap the ball. You got Aaron Donald breathing down your neck. You got Khalil Mack breathing down your neck. Parsons. You got who else is good out there? Armstead. So O-line, I'm sitting pretty. I'm loving what I'm doing. Defense, you hit it right in the head. TJ Watt, I know we've tried for 2 seasons now moving him. At one point, do we know, okay, you know what, he is 30 years old, 94 overall, cool. We're getting some decent offers, but not what we're expecting. At what point do we move on from it and just say, you know what, fuck it, let me cut my losses. Let me get this 21-year-old to bump up and take over his spots, and that way we can build him up. Got another 21-year-old Shaw in the mix as well, that we can easily develop. An inch taller than TJ. So I mean, he already has all the players that lined up. D tackle Collins, 30 years old, but we have a 24-year-old in the back burner waiting. We have a 25-year-old superstar already starting. So all the pieces are there. Linebackers, where's this linebacker that we picked up? Shoot, I think it was Carter. Yeah, 91 speed, 90 XL. Killed it with Carter, drafting him mid-round. Let me see what actual draft pick we picked him up on. 10th round or 10th pick, first round. For him to last all the way to the 10th with that speed, that just shows you how much knowledge this GM team has as far as scouting players and all that good stuff. He landed an X Factor, superstar. He just got promoted to X Factor based off his gameplay. But at 22 years old, Pittsburgh's known as the linebacker headquarters. Them and Baltimore produce the best linebackers in the game. Barrett Carter gonna follow suit. You got Holcomb, 29 years old. Sanborn. Oh, you picked up Sanborn, you bastard. Sanborn. Who else is good? Yeah, he's got a lot of good pieces out there. 88 speed. Culver at middle linebacker, 22 years old, 6'3". So the pieces are there. Happy with the linebacking core. Secondary, Minka's been on the trade blocks for quite a while now. Not sure why I would keep him. Build a team around him. 91 speed, 6'1", 20 years old. Especially when you're going up against the Bengals in your division 2 times a season. Potentially 3 if you guys make the playoffs and square off. So having another threat other than Bullock, because Bullock's going to be facing, what's his face? Chase. Obviously because of the height. A lot easier to swat the balls down. And then Minka can take over and knock out T. Higgins out of the game plan. But you want to have that extra cornerback that'll be shut down, especially at X Factor. Joey Porter Jr., I'm surprised at his slow development. If it was me having Joey Porter Jr., this man would have been at 89 already overall. Hands down. Case in point, look at what we did with Gentry Williams. Look at what we did with that rookie that we picked up in the 3rd overall pick that we traded off to Cleveland. We know how to progress cornerbacks easily. And for Joey Porter to be here age 25 and only be 83 overall, there's something wrong going on with the training department that has to get addressed ASAP. Either we fire the training coordinator and hire a new one that knows exactly what they're doing. But Joey Porter, there's no way in hell he should be at 83 at 6'2" with 91 speed, 95 XL. Jonathan Jones, 31 years old. We like him for his speed so he can do blitzes off the corners. But as far as everything else, I mean, 6'2" safety, 6'1" corner with 94 speed, 91 XL. Like, we got all these pieces that are ready to go. All we got to do is just wait and get them developed. And then 6'4" Mukuamu. I guess that's how you say it, Israel. 90 speed, 91 excel. Another freaking beast out there, safety. So we got all the pieces. Even the kicker's pretty good. Kick power is 99. Accuracy is not so much, but who cares about accuracy? It's all about the power. So overall, as a GM for the Steelers, I am content. And I am even more content because I have all these trade bait pieces. And rumor has it that the league is about to open up the trades for one final push until New Year's. Basically, say thank you for everybody that has been with us for a few seasons now. Like I said, we try to change the market every season. Try to add different pieces to pump up the league. And Pittsburgh right now is going to probably take full advantage of that because there's no reason he should hold on to Pickett for the end of the season when Artie's your guy. So I can see Pickett moving really quick within the next 2 days. Najee, I'm not sure if we're going to move on this quick, but I think we write it out. And then depending on what happens in the playoffs, if we make it, cool. If not, off season, boom, gone. That is the Evans and Williams show after that. Hopefully we pick up a receiver throughout the trade. I know the Bears have Gabe on the market, 89 overall. So maybe they reach out to them. But yeah, there's a bright future for the Steelers team. They're built for the future. And they're also built for right now, as you see with the 88 overall. So we'll let the actual Steelers GM give us his insight. Since we got all day, all night to talk about this. I'm pretty sure he's going to take about an hour and a half. So grab your popcorn and get ready for his analysis on his own team.
I mean, I really don't have that much to say. I just want to say how on the Joey Porter topic last season. No, wait, was it the first season? One of the seasons, he got injured for 10 games, so he didn't upgrade any of them games. And so during that season, we had Patrick Peterson getting cooked all season. Who else did we have? We had a whole bunch of just mid cornerbacks getting cooked. So that's why I went out, drafted Kalen Bullock and Barrett Carter. Barrett Carter, who has turned into the second coming of Michael Parsons. Speaking of Michael Parsons, Colts hit my line. I would love him over here.
Man, that guy's getting passed up. He's getting passed around like a $2 roll.
He's gonna find a forever home if he comes to Pittsburgh, man. I got a great offer. I got a whole bunch of guys who are older. TJ Watt, Minkah, I could send over there. Who else? I could send Tyree if he really wanted Tyree. I got a whole bunch of guys for Micah, so But on that topic, Barrett Carter, all we need is my team to just develop so I can get actual good abilities on him, and we're gonna be perfect. Like Coach has said, if I get Lurker on Barrett Carter, I'll finally have a user, and the league gonna get put on notice. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that linebacker was a steal, man. I was like, when you got him, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, I was actually gonna draft 2 instead of drafting Kalen Bullock. There's another linebacker. I think he's on the Raiders. His name Trotter. I was gonna draft him, but I drafted Kalen Bullock, which I don't regret. But it would have been a great pick.
Yeah, it would have been. Wow, that was short and simple. I thought we were gonna hear like a nice little speech and all that. All right, so moving. Go ahead.
Never mind.
Go ahead. Say it. Say what you chose.
I was just gonna talk about the what moves I might be looking to make.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so I think from what what Colt said about who said about not moving Najee? That was you, right?
Yeah, that was me until the end of the year.
About moving Najee, I have been trying to develop Lenny Evans a lot more too. Speaking on that topic, so I don't know, it's possible, but I have been trying to move Minkah and TJ. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The Niners tried to come get Minkah. I was not letting that happen. He has Tre'Davious White already. That's not happening. But also another guy that trade I might do in the offseason hit me up. I'm not gonna say too much on that, and he's probably gonna get the trade. To be honest, him and another dude revolving around draft picks. For TJ Watt, I've been just sticking it out with TJ. Um, I just re-signed him actually, but he's been very good this season. He already had 6.5 sacks. He's finna beat what he had last year already. He's been injured for like 3 games this year, so he's been. I like what I'm getting out of TJ at his age. Also on the Fitzpatrick topic, his cap. The reason I didn't trade him at the deadline is because his cap hit. I'm waiting for his cap hit to go down. Because right now, if I trade him, it's a 22 million cap penalty, and I do not want to take that. We just fixed our cap situation with trading away Ronnie Stanley, so I love where we're at with that. George Pickens, we signed him on an 8-year deal, 200 million. Love that. We Barrett Carter contract should be coming up in in 3 seasons. So he's gonna be expecting a lot of money, tons of money, Micah type of contract. But we're prepared for it. Kenny Pickett, we're gonna look for a home for him in the if the what should we call this? The second deadline comes out. Calvin Austin, I've been trying to develop him for all these seasons. He had 1,000 yards last season. He had 900 yards the season before that. No breakout whatsoever. So we'll see with Calvin Austin. I don't know what the future is there. Shamar Stewart, this was another great pick by my AI. Dude is a monster. He has 93 power move, 72 speed. He's like Calais Campbell. He's humongous. He's 6'5", 290 at DN. But he always somehow finds a way to get to the quarterback, which is what I love about him. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Now I'm done.
All right. Patriots in the house saying go Pats. Isaiah Bolden is him. Get the kid saying what's up, OGCFM fam. Welcome, guys. Hey, Patriots, now that he's here, I think they're looking for a quarterback as well. Kenny Pickett would be a huge upgrade from that horrible disaster that they have at quarterback. Watson is not him. I'll tell you that much right now.
Hey, go ahead, hit my DMs, man.
You got Brock Purdy out there in the market. You have Pickett. You got potentially Anthony Richardson from Indianapolis. Potentially Shador. Nah, I'm just playing.
Look, this is what I got to say about that whole quarterback situation. I say this is gonna sound biased, but I say Pickett is the best to trade for because you're getting an 85 overall X Factor QB. But I'm not looking if you want Anthony Richardson, if you're gonna have to trade a bag. Pickett, I'm not looking for that much. I'm looking for just like a second, third, nothing too crazy. Brock Purdy's throw power is horrible. I don't think you're gonna want him. I say
if we look at Pickett's throw power, it's the same as Purdy, 87. So
not a 90 if you have the +3 thing. And his accuracy is way better.
Yeah, his accuracy is better, but the throw power, if they don't have that thing unlocked, it's 87.
Oh man,
so I'm kind of.
Hey, I'm saying,
the Pats just offered. The Pats just offered a trade live on chat. First time ever in OGCFM.
Take my third. Come on then. Come get Pickett.
Okay, we might be seeing Pickett go to the Patriots. That's probably what they need. They have a lot of holes out there in New England, as you guys heard. That was our first show that we had. But yeah, we're over here brokering deals. Let's go. All right, so that's enough for Pittsburgh. Now we move on to Baltimore. And we're going to have Sergeant J kick off Baltimore. Let us know what they have in Baltimore, what they need. Let's break it down.
Okay, so in Baltimore, first thing that I look at when you say Baltimore, first thing I think about is Lamar Jackson. Let's see how Lamar is doing.
He's
Hold on, give me
doing
one.
terrible. Terrible.
Lamar.
He got
He
that
might
bag.
be a quarterback that needs to be on the move, actually. If we're being honest, what has the Ravens done with Lamar at quarterback? Because if you think about it, you could get probably more than 4 draft picks for Lamar, but the cap penalty would be horrible. But you could get about 4 firsts for Lamar, definitely. And you're not doing great with Lamar. So I say I would move on from him. That's what I would do. Javonte Williams, he's having a kind of a breakout season a little bit with 7 touchdowns. How many yards? 727 yards on 145 attempts. He's having a kind of a breakout year. 18 broken tackles is crazy. Oh my goodness. His receiver core, they're all eating. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Chris Godwin, all have about the same amount of yards. He doesn't have like a standout receiver. Rashad Bateman is a guy that's getting underused, I see, as I look at his team. O-line, who does he have? A whole bunch of rookies. Actually, let me look at the team this way. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's going to make it easier. Go right here. Okay. Once we get to the O-line. Oh, yeah, also, let me speak on this. Mark Andrews. He's having a decent season, but he's 29. X Factor, probably his last elite year. I would move on from him, too. I say the Ravens is due for a rebuild completely. He needs to move on from these key pieces like he moved on for Roquan. He needs to move on from Mark Andrews. I say he could get a first for Mark, for sure. For like a team that's trying to contend, maybe the Colts, maybe the Titans. Definitely. I can see them making a move for Mark Andrews. He got Will Campbell, a rookie, 77 overall, left tackle, who was star dev. Okay. He has a decent young O-line, 21-year-old, 77 overall. Tegra Tashalabula. What the fuck? Anyway, then he has Tyler Linderbaum, a 25-year-old, 83 overall. Great. Cesar Ruiz and Jack Nelson, who is also a second year. He's 6'7", 311 pounds, 80 overall. So he has a good young O-line. They need to develop. Justin Matabuke, who is 27 at this point, 82 overall. I say just keep him, Then he has Latu. What the fuck is these names? He's in his second year. He's an 81 overall. He's getting older already, 24 years old in his second year. He's pretty decent though. He's having a decent season for the Ravens. Let's see how many. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he has 6 sacks. So he's having a decent season. Possible breakout season. Maybe superstar by the end of the year. Deion Walker, who is a rookie, 78 overall D tackle. So he has a lot of young pieces on his front end, on the O line plus the D line. He has a 91 speed left outside linebacker, Baron Browning, who is solid. Patrick Queen, Trenton Simpson. That's a guy who I'm surprised hasn't took that leap. Trenton Simpson is very, very good normally, and just normally. He's very good. I'm very surprised he hasn't took that leap. 91 speed middle linebacker who could potentially be on the move and be a future Steeler. Let's see. DBs, he has a rookie, 80 overall, superstar, 90 speed, Davison Igabinoson. Why is all his names weird on his team? But he has 90 speed, 85 man coverage. That's very good. Actually, that's a really good pick. Where did he draft him at? Let's see. He was drafted at He was drafted in the second round. Wow, that's a steal. Second round draft pick, cornerback, that was superstar. He's 90 speed, 80 overall. Then he also has Nate Wiggins, who's a 93 speed, 21-year-old, 6'2", great pickup. So his corners, they're okay. He has two young corners he can build around. I would move on from Bryce Hall if I was him, who was an 89 speed corner, 6'1". He also has Marcus Williams over the top still, who's getting up there in age. He's 28, 88 speed. Kyle Hamilton, probably his best defensive player, who is superstar, 86 overall, 24 years old. Who could not? If me personally, I wouldn't move on from him, but I would just shop him, see what's out there, because people, some people would offer 55 first for goddamn Deontay Johnson or some shit. But anyway, let's see. Let's look at these stats. Let's do a stat breakdown. All right. Tex. Really? His team is very quiet on defense. His team is super quiet. Like, no one really has any stats for real. He only has one guy, Trenton Simpson, with 2 interceptions, which is big. He has Latu, whatever the fuck his name is, with 6 sacks, 10 TFLs, and that's about it. 4.5 sacks from Justin Matabuke. And that is literally it. I mean, let's look at Justin Tucker, I guess. Justin Tucker hasn't missed a single field goal as expected. 100% from field goal percentage. Longest is 58 yards. Huge. Still kicking around. He's old as shit. Let's go do a schedule breakdown. See who he has to play to end the season. He has to play. He just came off a W from me. He just beat me, basically. He plays the Chargers, then the Browns, then the Lions, then the Bengals, then the Browns, then the Vikings. Oh my gosh, that's a tough stretch. I think the Ravens season might just be over. They're Ravens 5-6. They could make the playoffs, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening with the user going on a hiatus, however you say it. Yeah, I just don't see the Ravens making any noise anymore. When they first got in the league, they had a few big wins versus some key teams, but after the last season, they are yet to do anything, So I say for them, my final conclusion, I say move on from Lamar. Try to find something. Sure, a team like the Patriots, the Falcons, somebody would do a whole bunch of firsts for Lamar, top picks. But yeah, that's what I say, and I'm done, just like that.
Isaiah, the floor is yours.
All right. So before the season, last season, towards the end of the season, we made it clear that we wanted draft picks. Traded Marlon Humphrey. I forgot who else we traded, but got some second rounds, got some late first rounds. So obviously, we know we're not competing this year. We knew we weren't competing this year. So this year I've tried to focus on develop my guys. See if we got some young guys who can take the next step for us. As far as moving on from Lamar Jackson, no, we're not doing that. We paid him all this money for a reason. We feel like he is the quarterback for us. Let me say something real quick. 95 overall, 96 speed, X Factor, 28 years old, same age as Joe Burrow right now. I would have, if anything, I'm waiting 2 years before I move on from him. We haven't even really placed wide receivers around him. So of course he's scrambling. Of course he's forcing some throws. Let me look at his interceptions. 13 interceptions, 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. But let's not forget last season when the head coach came in. 43 touchdowns, 20 interceptions from Lamar. We were cheering. We were saying finally Lamar has a head coach that has a perfect style for him. So all because this year we're struggling. Let's not forget who Lamar is. Let's not forget who this head coach, what his potential can be. In my opinion, he's already proven what he can do. I think it's just sometimes when you start slow, your confidence gets low. Now you're trying to do things that you're not used to. That you're like, look at the Colts. Lost a few games, couldn't get over the hump. Started talking about passing the ball. That's not their offense. It's not our offense to have Lamar drop back 1,000 times and not have a receiver to throw to. We need to have an offense that fits perfectly for him. Have some option reads, have some RPOs. People sometimes clown on the RPOs, but a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, I think that is something that we definitely want to include. But like I said before the season, we're not expecting the playoff. We're not expecting the division win. Just developing our guys, possibly doing some trades before the trade deadline to get some receivers, get some draft picks like we've been doing before. And so far, honestly, I'm actually not proud of what we've done. I'm not proud that we won 5 games. That probably sounds crazy, but I wouldn't want us to win this year. The AFC is stacked. Well, it was stacked. You can't really lose 8 games and expect to make the playoffs. So I wish we would have lost more games. That probably sounds crazy, but I wish we would have lost more games. Especially as a rebuilding team. That win against the Steelers last week actually kind of hurt us. But so yeah, that was my expectation before the season. I'm not really happy where we are. I don't think we develop our guys that much. As far as Mark Andrews, I'm hoping to let him walk this offseason. Javonte Williams, I'm hoping to let him walk this offseason. Rashad Bateman, he hasn't really done much for us. This is a point in time where if you can't produce for us, we want you going. We're letting him walk. And let's just overrule this roster. Like I said, Lamar Jackson, we're keeping him. It would be stupid to trade him. Yeah, you say you can get some picks. But I don't really see us replacing Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's a QB issue right now. It's just our offense. Got to work on this offense. Got to make this offense fit Lamar Jackson. Surround him with guys that fit him. Receivers. I think receivers have been a problem in Baltimore for a while now. That's the issue. That's the main issue. That's the issue that we need to focus on in the offseason. It's not Lamar Jackson. Running back wise, think they should get a running back. Rumors have it that they were in talks for Jonathan Taylor. I do think that they definitely need a running back to make this Lamar Jackson quarterback and running back duo deadly. That option, like I said, I mean, get a running back, probably 94 speed, at least. Maybe in the draft, maybe not. Maybe you trade. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor. Rumors have it that he might be on the block. But yeah, get a running back. Tight end, Mark Andrews. Let him walk. We do have a rookie, R.J. Maryland, 21 years old. Drafted him in the 3rd round. Let's bench Mark Andrews. Hot take. And let's give Maryland some more minutes. See what he can do for the rest of the season as we not tank, but not try to win these games. Wide receiver wise, like I said, we need some wide receivers. Zay Flowers. I would have liked him to be a superstar by now. But like I said, not having that many wide receivers, I'm sure defenses are keen on Zay Flowers. So focus is probably getting a wide receiver in the draft. I think this is a pretty good a draft for wide receivers, especially early in the draft. See if you could probably trade up, possibly, and get a top wide receiver. Maybe a free agent that falls through. I mean, that doesn't get paid. But I think the wide receiver area is definitely where we need to improve. Offensive line. This is a really good young offensive line, and like OG mentioned, apparently the offensive line will start to progress faster. So this is a young offensive line, and I think it has the making to be one of the best offensive lines. Very young, honestly. 2 rookies. Will drafted in the first round, 14th pick, and Tegra, second round pick. So really good young offensive line. Defensive line, Deion Walker stands out, 21 years old. Latu stands out, 24 years old, 81 overall. But you know, in the past, the Ravens' defense was something that really made them who they were. So hopefully they can find. Hopefully we can find some. Like I keep saying that with every team, honestly. We got to generate pressure on the defensive line to make the secondary's job a lot easier. Hopefully Walker can be a key piece to that. Maybe we can go out and trade, but I'm not looking for older guys. We only want younger guys over here as we continue this rebuild. But yeah, Walker and Latu are some pieces that we're really looking towards to help us. Maybe Gabriel. Like I said, let's try to give our young guys more minutes to try to prove themselves before we either ship them or like move on to someone else. We have this mindset of next man up mentality. This division isn't looking very good for us with the Steelers and the Bengals and the Browns. So, I mean, this is a rebuild, but we're trying to get there as quick as we can. If you're not ready for us, if you're not ready when we call you, then we're moving on to the next. Linebackers, Patrick Queen, 87 speed. I'm moving on from him, seeing if I can get something for him. Because of Trent Simpson, I like him. We have Sean Murphy that we just drafted, 89 speed. We drafted him in the 3rd round. So we have linebackers. We kind of have too many linebackers. But I would keep Simpson, Murphy, Browning, and basically just our young guys, honestly. I keep saying the same thing, but our focus is developing our young guys. Simpson, I think he should be huge for us. 91 speed is huge. Secondary wise, Kyle Hamilton. I know this is someone that our head coach has told me that he wants to keep under us. Under no circumstances does he want to trade him. Davison, as the Steelers talked about, 2nd round pick, Steel, superstar. Nate Wiggins, 93 speed. Our 2nd round pick 2 years ago. So honestly, overall, it looks bad for us. But that's what happens when you pay a guy like Lamar Jackson. Expectations are high, really high. So a 5-6 record and not looking like you're going to be competing for this division for a while, kind of sucks. But if we can continue to get draft picks, continue to develop our guys, take care of our money. We're not spending, overpaying for guys. Letting Mark Andrews walk. Free agents are going to come. Top, like I continue to say, because it's going to happen, and when it happens, I'm going to continue to say I told you so, because these top teams are about to lose some key players. They're not going to be able to pay them. So hopefully they could fall into the Ravens' hands, and then we can start competing in this division again.
That wraps up the Ravens. Now we go to, here we go, the Cleveland Browns. Sitting at 5-7. They made a crazy trade to acquire Dak Prescott. They got rid of Malik Willis. Surprising move there. We thought Willis was going to get married to that team. Coach said, nope, we had enough. Let's go get a quarterback that can actually do the job. And since they acquired Dak Prescott, they've been playing pretty well. Haven't missed a beat. Still being one of the top 3 or top 4 offenses in the league. Let's see. There are number 2 in total yards, number 1 in passing, 17th in points, 26th in rushing. So when you go up against the Browns, you know exactly what you're getting. The air game. FedEx is on the field. 65.77 mil available cap room. Hell of a job by the coach or by the GM. And they made some key trades at the deadline. Getting Dak Prescott, picking up where is he at? Picking up Benjamin Morrison, rookie, 20 years old, 87 overall, 95 speed, 95 excel, 93 man coverage. That right there with Denzel Ward, that defense, those stats are going to get way better. Possibly not this season, but next season, expect them to come out and be a lot better. They picked up Jaquan Brisker to pair him up with Emerson Jr. And they still have Juan Thornhill, which was one of the players of the year 2 seasons ago. So the team is built pretty much ready to win. It's just these fumbles that they're getting this year. I don't know what they're having out there in Cleveland. I don't know if the water got tapped with the fumbleitis, but everybody that touches the ball, I mean, we see a fumble at least once every 2 games from Cleveland. And not sure if they're using protect the ball or not, but they have a 32-year-old quarterback that's going to start declining. So their window to win is now. Obviously, this season, they still have a chance sitting at 5-7. If they win out, they need some things to happen to where other teams lose and they can sneak in there to the seventh seed. As a 7th seed, I see them potentially putting in some work, maybe upsetting a team or 2. Like I said, that offense is explosive. Chicago faced them, and we were not ready for that. The RPO world and the reverses and all that good stuff. We were expecting a different game style. But looking at the team, Dak Prescott, like I said, 32 years old, so they need a quarterback ASAP. Running backs, they're pretty much set. 23-year-old Watson, 91 speed, 91 excel. Pierre Strong is 26, but he's got 92, 93. And Hines, 28 years old, 91, 92. Tight ends, David Njoku's been on the trade market. Chicago almost went out and traded for him, but they held up and didn't want to do that. Tommy Tremble, 6'4", 84 speed, 90 excel. And then Jalen Conyers, 6'5", 80 speed, 88 excel. So in the tight end department, if they move on from David, they're still going to be pretty good. Only losing 2 points in speed. between the number 1 and number 2. Wide receivers, these guys are fast as hell. Anthony Schwartz, we all know him. Number 10, you see him on the field, you got to put 2 people on him. 98 speed, 95 excel. Romeo Dobbs, 92 speed, 94 excel. 24 and 25 years old. 6 foot, 6'2". The rookie, Chris Marshall, coming in here and just surprising everybody. 21 years old. 6'3", 93 speed, 93 excel. Malaki Corley, 23 years old, 5'11", 92 speed, 94 excel. Allen Robinson II, 32 years old, 6'2". He's primarily your slot receiver when he does come in. And he has a 24-year-old Jacob Cowing, 5'11", 89 speed, 93 excel. So receiving core, he's sitting pretty good. Maybe he might need one more player to get over the overall of 80, just to bump up that offense a little bit. But for the most part, they're doing well with what they have in house. So I don't see any possible changes. I don't see them going for a wide receiver either on a trade. I mean, if the trade is good and it's someone like Pickens or T. Higgins, I don't see them going that direction at all. Offensive line needs a little bit of help. They do have a lot of young pieces. Joel Bitonio, 33 years old, 91 overall. Wyatt Teller, 88 overall, 30 years old. Jedrick Willis Jr., 82 overall, 26. Cole Houston, 76 overall, 22 years old. Zach Rice, 75 years old, 21, superstar. So a 21 and a 22-year-old already at superstar. So that's really good for them. And then they got a nice little bench going on. They got a 23, 24, 24-year-old. So they got some good in-house where they don't have to go out there and waste the draft pick on an O-line. They can just develop them, especially with the new setup that we have, where the XP for the O-lines are 300 max. Defensive line, he's got one old player. Brian Burns, 27, 90 overall. It's a really good addition. Tyleek Williams, 87 overall, 22 years old. Christian Barmore, 81 overall, 26 years old. Ogbania Okoronkwo, 30 years old. That might be a good trade piece for someone that's looking for a right end. Defensive tackle, he's got Siaki Ika, 24 years old, 6'4". Isaiah McGuire, 71 overall, 24 years old. And Tim Jefferson, 67 overall, 22 years old. So just like his offensive line, he's got pieces ready to plug and play. So I'm not really looking for any defensive line players at all. Just build what I have in house. Linebacker core, golden. Got Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, 86 overall, 25 years old. Aziz Ojulari, 84 overall, 25 years old. Danny Stutzman, 80 overall, 22 years old. Marvin Jones Jr., 76 overall, 22 years old. Princely, I don't even know how to say that name. 74 overall, 23 years old, 6'5". So he's got key pieces there that he can easily build up. Speed, pretty well, except for a few that are 82, 83 speed. For the most part, he's got 87, 88, and 90 speed. So they're pretty good. Their reaction time is quick to the ball. Denzel Ward, I mean, you can't say much about him. He's just a shutdown corner X factor. 95 speed, 95 or 97 excel. Pairing him up with Benjamin Morrison, rookie out of Notre Dame. 20 years old, 6 foot, 95 speed, 95 excel. So anybody that's got speed burners on their offense, I mean, they're pretty much going to get shut down. Over the top, he's got Martin Emerson Jr., 87 overall, 24 years old. At the other side, he's got Brisker, 82 overall, 26 years old. And then the third cornerback slot goes to Cameron Mitchell, 23 years old, 91 speed, 94 excel. So even if you try to squeeze in a slot receiver that's fast, I know the Bears tried doing it and it didn't work. They can shut you down real quick. On the back burner, they got a 21, 22, 23, 23, 24-year-old waiting to step up. All those players pretty good at speed. Obviously, your safeties are going to be in the 80s, high 80s. But he's got Tommy Townsend as a punter, 99 kick power. Cameron Dicker, number 69, 98 kick power. I mean, he's ready to win. If you take away those turnovers that he had with the fumbles, they could easily be sitting at 7-5 right now, easily. But Madden happens. Fortunately, some of us get the short end of the stick, and there's nothing we can do but try to minimize that. So I see Procana doing a hell of a turnaround next season. I'm not sure if he's going to be pushing to make the playoffs, and then if he fails at it, that messes up his draft picks. But sitting at an 87 overall with a 5-7 record, 65.77 mil, they're sitting in the driver's seat with this free agency that's about to happen. And you guys have heard all these key players the past 5 episodes on how many people are going to become free agents. So it's gonna be a fun shopping experience if you got the money, and then if you got the draft picks, this looks like a good defensive class to attack. Sergeant J, what do you got to add to this? What's your analysis?
Oh, yo, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm almost. Give me 1 second. Hold on. 1 second.
While we wait for that 1 second, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the viewership. You guys make us want to do this every day. Big shout out to the Colts. My man went out there to work. He does a graveyard shift, so we all know how that is. They asked him to stay super late at work, so he got off at 10 o'clock in the morning today. Hasn't slept. Hasn't pretty much laid down at all because he knows he would fall asleep. So I appreciate you and your dedication to the show. That's bro, that's awesome.
Yes, sir, bro.
My man's like, let's wrap this up so I can go knock the hell out. Come on, guys. Give us your take real quick, your quick synopsis, Isaiah, on the Browns. I know you want to talk on them.
I think the Browns are one of the most underrated teams in the league. I think they have been since season 3. I remember when I played them season 3. I know the scores don't look that way, but it was a tough game for both times. I think, like he said, like he continues to say, it's like it seems like Madden just messes with him at the worst possible times. But I also think it's just he takes himself out the game when those plays happen. I think if he can stay calm, when stuff like that happens, because it's going to happen. I feel like every single Madden game, it's gonna be something like that happening. It's just how you stay poised and gather around your guys and tell them that the game's not over, and that there's a lot of fight left. But talking about this team, I like what he did defensively. He realized that his offense is pretty good. Well, it has been top. I think it's been top 5 for the past 3 seasons. I know season 4 it was number 1. Wait, season 4 was last season. Season 3 it was number 1. When he was the RPO king. So he focused on defense. I like that trade that he did with the Bears. He still has Brian Burns from that trade with the Colts. So I'm looking forward to him being nice defensively next year, especially in the draft or the free agency. Um, and he already has a great offense. So, like you said, I expect him to really turn around next year. The tough part about that is it's such a tough division. For some reason, they get one of the hardest schedules every season. So maybe next season Madden takes it easy on them. But I think that this is one of the best divisions in the league. I see them honestly. I still don't see them winning the division, but I do still see them making the playoffs next season.
I'm back.
Talking about the games, when I said that they should have been 7-5, the games that they let slip away that should have been a W was against Pittsburgh. They lost 21-24. The other game was the Lions. They lost 15-26. And then the game that actually slipped that they could have easily won was against Denver, 21-35. And it all went down to the fumbles. So actually, he could have been 8-4 at this point if those 3 games would have been way different. So go ahead, Sergeant J. Floor is yours.
Okay. So about the Browns. Okay, I'm gonna talk about their play calling. So to be honest, if the Brown I love the Browns offense. Like he runs a lot of misdirection stuff, like running receivers, running the ball. Like I play him 2 times a year, so I see it coming. So I'm gonna blow it up. But I think it's actually very good and unique play calling, like because most teams not gonna know. Oh, he's not finna hand that off on that end around play or on that jet sweep. Different stuff like that. I say if I was him, I would throw actually running with my running back on the jet sweep, like running a fake jet sweep, running a fake end around. If he did stuff like that and simplified his offense a little bit more, he would be dangerous. Even though his offense is already number 1, but it's when you play him 2 times a year, it's kind of the same thing. So you know what to you know what he's gonna run, you know how to beat it, you know how to do all this. So I say if he simplified it a little bit more, added a little bit more to his offense, he would be dangerous. But one thing I also think I love about the Browns is his defense. Like I think his defense is very underrated. Cause my first 2 seasons, he would give me the biggest challenge. Like I would just be struck. Like his defense isn't anything too crazy or anything too simple, but I don't know what it was. It would just make me struggle. And he has 2 97 speed corners and fast edge rushers, fast linebackers, fast edge rushers. This defense is very scary, and if he makes it to the playoffs, it could be a playoff winner if he can figure it out on defense. He's a very good user. His offense already figured out. He's gonna beat most teams with his offense. Just his defense. If he figures his defense out, that might be the team to watch out for in the playoffs. I don't think no one will want to play him in the first round. I'm gonna go look at his stats real quick. Stats. He has 8 interceptions with Dak, 19 touchdowns. Pretty decent. Pretty solid. Blake Watson. See, yeah, if he runs the ball more, I'm telling you, he would be dangerous. He has only 83 attempts with his RB1, 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. If he runs the ball more, he would be dangerous, man. He has Chris Marshall, who is a rookie. Came in, he's a stud. 93 speed, 6'3". And then Anthony Schwartz. Mr. Tyreek Hill. He's only an 81 overall. Wow, that's interesting. Mr. Tyreek Hill himself and he has a great O-line too. Even though his rookie right tackle, who is superstar, has given up 8 sacks. Jesus. But about this fumble situation, like I said, I think if he runs the ball more, because he runs a lot of end arounds and all that, jet sweeps and all that. I think if he runs the ball more, those will be turned down. Like the fumbles, there'll be less fumbles basically. I think that's the problem. That's one of his problems because he fatigues his players from making them run all this and that, this and that. So his players gonna get fatigued and they're gonna fumble more. So I think he should run the ball more. I should run the ball more too, but that's another topic for another day. What else was I thinking? Oh yeah, to be honest, I don't know how he's the bottom of the AFC North. I say if he was in a different division, he would probably be at the top, sitting at the top with the division crown. Um, he's a very good user. Just sometimes gets fucked over by Madden. But I also think it's a little bit of his fault also for running a lot of end rounds and fatiguing his players and things like that. But his team has a very bright future, and I see them making a real run, maybe next season or the season after that, if they play their cards right with the quarterback situation. And I'm done.
All right. Well, that was a quick synopsis on that. And yeah, so we should be back later tonight with the NFC North and my Bears. So we're gonna figure out what the lineup looks like for that. That's gonna be calling it. But expect us to be live between 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. And yeah, just try to get your games in. Let's get this rolling. I know we're in vacation mode, but if someone hits you up in the chat, it takes 2 seconds to reply, "Hey, I'm not busy," or "I'm busy right now. Can we play tomorrow or set a different time?" Leaving people on red, that ain't cool. Especially if we see you playing Madden and your streams come up, showcasing that you're playing a different league, or you're not responding in this. So be courteous to your fellow opponents, and just reach out and be like, "Hey, I don't want to play right now. Can we play on this date instead?" Something as simple as that can fix the confusion. But yeah, once we start on the first, it's business back as usual, or on the second, I mean. Our podcasts are gonna start picking up daily, like we mentioned last night. We're gonna have a podcast show every morning, Sunday through Saturday. So we're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of different topics, different layout setups. So we're gonna have like a more of like a ESPN type of presentation where there's a lot of graphics, a lot of stats, a lot of players, a lot of stuff coming your way. So this is what we spent the entire vacation mode on, was building the whole setup, give you guys the best experience possible. So like I said, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be amped up to be doing all these shows, and Colts wouldn't be writing all these articles, and people wouldn't be taking the time and watching these highlights and setting up highlights for us to do top 10 or top plays of the week. So let's just keep the same activity once we come back off a break. And yeah, let's get those league incentive numbers up so that way you guys can all better your team. Anything you guys have to add before we close out?
Nah. Appreciate everybody who stayed tuned in, though. For sure.
Isaiah's like, I'm already sleeping. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode later on today. Appreciate the viewership. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so that way you guys are alerted whenever we go live with these shows. And we'll catch you